Hello, it's Adedoyin Jaiyesimi here, and welcome to my YouTube channel. Today, we're going to be talking about what to do if you feel stuck in your career. Now, when I was thinking about this topic, I was thinking about, was there a time in my career, or has there been a time in my career where I felt stuck? Honestly, I couldn't really think about a time, but I know that I have felt bored/restless. So one thing about me is that when I go into somewhere, I kind of know how long I'm going to stay in that place. I kind of have an idea that this is probably going to be for like a year, 2 years. And I usually find that when that time is coming, I start feeling a sense of restlessness. Now, there are times where maybe I'm just going into a project or a brief and I'm not really sure how long it will be. But then I start feeling, when I start sensing that, feeling that restlessness, it is also a prompt to me of, is it time for me to move on to something else? And it's at that point where I start to seek the face of God and pray just to be sure, because like I always say, it's very important for me to be where God wants me to be and doing what I need to be doing. So I had to think a bit deeper about what does it really mean to be stuck in your career. And I think that for me, what's really came across for me is, why are you feeling stuck, right? Why are you feeling, because I felt stuck in life, not in my career, just generally. And it's very, very important to know why. If you do not know why, then it's very, very difficult for you to come out of that thing. So why are you feeling stuck? Are you feeling stuck because when you set the vision for your career, where you are now is not where you anticipated that you will be, or in some way you've gone off track, right? Or are you feeling stuck because you're comparing yourself with someone? If me and this person, we graduated 5 years ago, they are where they are and I'm just dissatisfied and I feel stuck. Or maybe, and I've had conversations with people that have been in these shoes, maybe you are in a place where you've been in a role for like 2 years, 3 years, you're not getting more responsibility. The CEO or the organizations, the executives, they're not understanding the value of comms. They're not seeing your value. They're not giving you more responsibility. Day in, day out, you're doing the same thing. There's something in you that wants to do something bigger. So you just feel stuck. And because maybe the job market, you don't know whether you should apply for a job. And you've been applying for jobs. So some people will be applying for jobs, but you're not just getting it. You don't know how to get from where you are to where you need to be. I'm giving you all these multiple scenarios because you need to know which one applies to you. When you do that, we can then move on to the next step, which is, let's go back, right, to the very, very beginning. What is the vision and the goal that you outlined for your career? Now, this is very, very important. You need to have a sense of, this is where I'm going with my career, because that's going to be your benchmark as you go along. And if you don't have a vision for your career, after this video, I advise that you do it. There's a leadership and comms coach, well, she's a comms and leadership coach that I absolutely love, and she has come to coach on 2 of our programs at the Comms Avenue. Her name is Louise Thompson, and for the mentees in our comms mentoring program, she taught them how to create a vision for their career, a purpose statement, and that's very, very important. Maybe I should invite her to come and to do a session here on YouTube, who knows. But anyway, point is, you need a vision, right? And that vision, it can be anything, but that vision helps you. So for me, for example, I'm very clear on the fact that my work must be purposeful. I'm very, very clear. So if I find myself, as I have found myself in the past, where I'm just doing work, I'm just making money, and I'm not seeing the impact, there will be a dissatisfaction in me. But you need to know, I can't tell you what yours is, right? So you need to create that vision. What do I want from my career? What do I see for myself? And then from there, I think it's equally important to understand, how did I get where I am now? So some people, you set that vision, you kind of have a sense of, this is the direction that I want to go to. I want to work in an international agency, in an INGO, and you're working towards it. And then maybe 2 or 3 years, maybe you got a lot of no's and rejections, and you're like, I'm just going to take what I can get. And then, you find yourself just coasting. right? So you need to know, how did you get to where you are? That way you can retrace your steps. Did I get too comfortable? For some of you, maybe as you were just implementing your vision, things were happening, and then you found yourself in you found yourself in your dream organization, in your dream role, getting more than what you believe is your dream remuneration, and then you relax, and then one day you wake up and there's just this sense of, wow, what have I really done in the last 5 years? So how did you get to where you are? The idea is to be able to retrace your steps and say, okay, this is where I wanted to be, this is where I am. And you must differentiate between, you set a vision for yourself. So if I use myself as an example, I wanted to be a chief communications officer of like a global organization, but that's no longer my dream anymore. So as your dream, and you're allowed to change your dreams, right? As that changes, it's okay for your vision to change. But if it's that you're very still bent on achieving being a CCO, for example, and you see that you took a detour, you must understand, why did that detour happen? What did life happen and I just needed a role that would get me by? Or, you know, I got really discouraged by the number of rejections or no's, or whatever it is. There's so many reasons why. And then once you're able to retrace your steps, is to say, okay, how do I move from this state of being stuck? So if you're in an organization, for example, you're not getting enough responsibility, you're doing the same old 2 years, 3 years, you need to have a plan for how you will get out. And there's so many ways through which that plan can be created. You can decide, you know what, let me go to school. Some people say, okay, let me go to school. Some people say, okay, let me do a professional certification. Let me become more active in a professional association. But you need to develop a plan. I find that speaking to my peers and those who have gone ahead really, really helps me, because when I listen to, because there's so many ways your career can go, I always try to encourage professionals, don't be so like one-dimensional about your career. There's so many ways it can go. And when I speak to different people, my mind is open to the different paths and the different options. And then I look at where I am, you know, my life situation, what would work best for where I am and where I want to be. So begin to think about creating a plan to get out of feeling stuck. Because if you say that you are stuck in your career, most likely you're also feeling frustrated. And then if you're now in a role, you're not inspired, because if you're feeling stuck, you're going to be losing motivation, then you're not delivering on the work, then they're complaining, then it's not a good look for you professionally, it's not a good outcome. So for me, my mind is like, look, get out of that feeling unstuck as quickly as you can. But the caveat, however, is that please don't put pressure on yourself, because becoming unstuck can be a journey depending on why you're stuck and what your next step should be. I think that when you create that plan, you should give yourself time, and that you should also map out the baby steps so that you don't put too much pressure on yourself, and then you'll now be feeling stuck. Then you now have disappointment from maybe your immediate plan is, I need a new job, and you're applying and you're applying and you're applying and you're applying and you're getting the rejection. There's something it does to your self-confidence, and I wouldn't advise that you put that much pressure on yourself. So while you're applying for the jobs, what are some things that you can begin to do? So for me, I would think that joining the professional association and volunteering, because even in doing that, a job opportunity can open up to you. Remember I said, don't be just one-dimensional about your career and your plan, because it can happen in multiple ways. Can I volunteer in this way? Maybe I just need to attend a conference. Maybe I just need to even step out of this environment. Sometimes I do that, like, let me just step out of this environment and attend this conference or go for this that I would not usually go for. And you will just find that gives you a new lease of life, that gives you a new fresh way of thinking. Or I reach out to so person and I have a conversation. But have a plan, but please give yourself time. And another thing that I would say is, please be very clear on what it is that you're looking out for. When people book the one-on-one sessions with me, I always try to get them to think clearly, because when you have clarity, it's easier to say, okay, these are the possible options. But when you're not even clear about what it is that you want for yourself, do I want more money? Do I want more responsibility? Do I want a greater challenge? where do I want it. You might not have all the answers, but you kind of need to have a sense. It can't be foggy or hazy in any way. And then that helps you. So as you begin to have those conversations, you can begin to note it down. Okay, if I want to explore these are the options. These are the options here. And then as you have the conversations, as you do your research, I'm big on research, right? As you begin to explore, then you're able to see different possibilities. But don't say because you're stuck, you're just going to be going around the motions. And I think that to wrap up really is find joy where you are. I think it's very, very important, because if you're feeling stuck, you're feeling dissatisfied, you're feeling frustrated, those negative emotions will only breed negative emotions. Negative emotions hardly ever bring life to positive emotions. Find joy even in that thing. Maybe I should not use the word joy, because someone will be like, Adedoyin, you don't really know my situation, there's no joy here. There are things to be grateful for. So maybe I would say find things to be grateful for. I'm someone that every day I challenge myself to find something to be grateful for. I may not be where I want to be, I may not be earning the money or the amount of money that I want to be earning, but I'm thankful for life. I'm thankful for, even in that job that you're thinking, oh, they don't appreciate me, they don't do this. There are things that you can be grateful for, and there's something that gratitude does. I don't know the physical explanation, but even from a God perspective, there's something that gratitude does. So find things to be thankful for. Let that joy keep you, so that you don't sink into the place of depression, because it's not a good place to be feeling stuck, dissatisfied, and then you're sinking into depression. It's harder to pull yourself up. I think that's why this for me is really important, because I found myself sinking into that place of depression, and thank God for prayers from my friends that was able to quickly rise up from it. But if you go down that hole, it's really, really difficult to pull yourself back up. So I hope that helps. I just thought about this topic, and I just thought there will be people out there that may need this. I hope that you found this helpful. And if you have more questions on this topic, as always, please feel free to reach out to me, and I'll be happy to answer them. Bye.